Alright, today we're going to be making some baked chicken and rice with butternut squash. Here's the big pan, so let's get started. Alright, so let's get started with our recipe. We're going to need a butternut squash, and if you've never seen one, this is what it looks like. It's just a very large vegetable there. We're also going to need some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I didn't have any of that on hand, so I just had the store-bought kind in the container. Salt, pepper, and some thyme. Some chicken broth. Some rice. I'm using brown jasmine rice. Some water. Some minced garlic, and some onions. Now I don't have this pictured, but it's actually because it's on the stove cooking. But I'm also going to be adding my chicken, and I'll show you that in a minute. I've got it boiling so that I can shred it, and then over here I've got a large 13 by 9 cooking dish, baking dish, so that we can put this all together. So let's get this all prepared and we'll get started. Okay, what I've done is I've cut the squash in half and taken out the seeds. Still got a little bit of this hair stuff in here, but that's alright. I used some cooking spray to cook down, to spray on my foil that I put on my baking dish so that these wouldn't stick. And I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. So I have my butternut squash has been cooked, and what I did is I just cubed it all up. Mine took about 25 minutes. It was kind of a large butternut squash, so just kind of look and see how tender it is when you pull it out of the oven. And here's my chicken I was telling you guys about earlier. I've got that shredded. That's about 4 chicken breasts, small boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So what I'm going to do in this saucepan is I'm going to put in my chicken broth and my water and mix them together. All the measurements for the ingredients will be below, so I'm not saying those just because I dumped everything out and measured it before, and I don't remember how much everything is exactly. But so we've got that, and I'm going to bring this. I want to bring this just to a simmer. I don't want to boil it, so I just want to get this warm so that it's going to be able to help and kind of marinate everything when it comes together. So let me go ahead and get this warmed up, and we'll get to the next step. Okay, so we've got our broth boiling on the other mixture, on the other burner. I've got a little bit of olive oil here in my pan here, and my pan should be pretty warm, so I'm going to go ahead and put my onion in here. Alright. And I'm just going to saute this onion for just a little while. Just want to get these nice and tender. Get the flavor into the pan, into the oil, so that it can start to marinate with everything else we're going to put in here. So let me get these sauteed for just a couple minutes, and we'll be back to add the next ingredient. Okay, so we've got our onions sauteed. I've been sauteing them for about 5 or 6 minutes. They're nice and getting kind of golden. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the garlic, and I'm going to saute this with the onions for about another 2 minutes. So let me get this sauteed. Okay, so one thing I wanted to let you guys know, when you take your butternut squash out of the oven, go ahead and change the degree temperature on your oven to 400 degrees. So you bumped it up 50 degrees after you've baked it for 350, because you want your casserole to bake at 400 degrees. So, alright, so we've got this sauteed up. This is on medium-high heat. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my rice. And I'm just going to toss this around. I really just want to get it kind of coated. We're sauteing our rice here. Getting it all nice and getting all these garlic and onion flavors into the rice so that when it cooks, it's just going to really flavor this rice really, really well. So let me get this finished stirring up, and we'll be back. Okay, so we're ready to add the rest of our ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and pour in my chicken, my butternut squash, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab my broth mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. I'm going to go ahead and add my pepper, salt, and thyme. I'm just going to give this a big scoop it around. And I'm going to let this cook for about 5 minutes, just like this, before I go ahead and pour it all into the casserole dish. So we'll let this cook for a little while, and we'll be back to pour it into the dish. Okay, so our mixture's been on the stove for a little bit over 5 minutes, and what I'm going to do now is I am going to just pour the mixture into my well-greased baking dish that I have here. And as we can see, all the rice, of course, is at the bottom. So we're just going to have to kind of mix that up a little bit. Whoop, don't splash it out like I'm doing. Hello. Alright, so we've got pretty much everything well distributed here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that Parmesan cheese and I'm going to spread that over here. And I'm going to cover this and I'm going to cook it for 30 minutes in the oven. Okay, so here we have our butternut squash, rice, chicken baked casserole. And we just got it out of the oven. It looks really nice. Very steamy right now. Just put this onto a plate and we're going to serve this up with a salad. And there you go, you've got a nice dinner. Very healthy. There's your baked chicken and rice with butternut squash. Enjoy!